Have you been wasting a ton of time on your health and not seeing the changes that you want to see? If that describes you, put either a comment or a like on this video just to share that with other people, because there are so many people that I see that are just frustrated to no end with their health. They want to make the change. They're working to make the change, but they're just not seeing the results. I'm Dr. Jeff Cumro. I'm a developmental functional neurologist. And really what we look at in our practice is we look at balance. We want to bring you into balance physically, mentally, and emotionally. If we can do that, then that's where health lies. Now, in all honesty, you're going to get out of balance to accomplish anything. And it doesn't matter if you're trying to start a business or trying to start a family or whatever, you're going to get out of balance in life. Life is going to take you in that direction. If you have that ability to return to balance, you have health. If you don't have that ability to return to balance, that's where you struggle with your health. That's where you get to this struggle where you're not seeing the results. You're not able to enjoy the benefits of the things that you're doing. So let's talk about this a little bit. There have been many times in my life that I have been disappointed with the results. When I first started practice, I was putting in 70 to 80 hours a week. I was doing that every single week without vacations, year round. I did that for a couple of years and my practice didn't really change. And how is this applicable to health? There are so many people right now that are putting in the workouts. They're doing the little things and they're just frustrated with where they're at because they don't see the result of it. The result will come. It will come when you are. It's not even that you don't have the ability right now. It's the skills consistently have to be there to take you to that next level, right? So if we were to compare this to a business, you have to have your sales, you have to have your marketing, you have to have your fulfillment, and then you have to have all the other little things that go with that. If we're looking at, a case study in, it's basketball, Michael Jordan is a great example of this. If you take Michael Jordan, his freshman year of basketball in high school, he got cut from the team. He did not make the team. One of the greatest basketball players of all time did not make the freshman team in his basketball. That's incredible, right? What did he do? He kept working. He grew a significant amount, which helps as well, but he kept working at it. And as he did that, he became better and better, and it drove him throughout his career. That's a good story, right? It happens every single day. When you are able to consistently be the person that you need to be, consistently make those choices that you need to make to get you to that next level, you're going to see the progress. And it's going to come relatively quickly. Some of you, it's going to seem like it's an overnight change. But it sucks in the middle of it. There's no other way to look at it. It's miserable in the middle of it. We could look at weight loss. When people first start lifting weights, they start gaining more muscle mass. Muscle weighs more than fat. So as you start to lose fat, you start to gain more muscle mass. Your weight can actually go up a little bit or stay the same, even though you're a totally different person. It's those little things that start to change and you don't notice it until later on. And that's the shift that we need to have mentally, is we need to be able to look at what those changes are. We need to have a more objective way of measuring where we're at in our life, where we're at in our success, where we're at in our health. And when we can do that, it gives us that ability to spot those changes and keep us motivated. Because in all honesty, most people don't succeed because they stop. That's the only reason. That is the trick to success. If you persist long enough, you're probably going to succeed at it. But most people don't make it there because they quit before they reach the finish line. They quit before they see those changes. Think about that, because that's all it really is. Success in health is just persistence. You can sit there and look at something and say, does this work? Has it worked for anybody else? It's probably going to work for you as well. You can say, will this work for me? I don't have a ton of time to do things. Have other busy people done it? It's probably going to work for you. Look at it and say, I'm going to have a hard time making these meals because I'm also making these meals for my family, and my family's going to be upset if I don't cook them the junk food that I normally cook. Is that going to be good for them? Can you get them on board with it? Can you ask them to help you? Because in most cases, our family will help us out. if we need it, if we are in the position that it's something that we have to do for ourselves, for them, most of them will make the changes. You don't have to make whole-scale changes on everything right away. You can make small changes and just kind of start changing that behavior slowly, because you're probably going to succeed more quickly if you make the slow changes than if you make the big changes. Example of this would be a fad diet. People do very well on fad diets, right? There's a lot of people that lose a lot of weight with fad diets, but in most cases they gain that weight back. Why? It's not sustainable. People who make small changes to their diet tend to lose weight and keep it off for longer periods of time. Healthcare is just about sticking with things. It's about putting in the work that nobody else wants to do. It's about sticking to it in those difficult times. Are there going to be difficult times? Absolutely. I can tell you without doubt in my mind that there are going to be difficult times. One of the toughest things that I see in our office is when people make a dietary change. Especially if it's something big, if they're taking out gluten or taking out dairy or different things like that. It's a very difficult change to make. And every single person that I've had in the office has went back and accidentally eaten or eaten something they purposely ate something that had that in it. Every single one of them has come back and said how miserable they feel. Without a single example, otherwise. Every single one of them has come back and told me how miserable they felt after that. Some of them stick with it, some of them don't. That's just the way it is. Health is success. It's not just health, but success in general is about sticking with things. And when you can stick with it long enough, that's when you're going to see the change. Now, there are a lot of different ways that you could go about your health. Going back to the diet example, what is the best diet? I like the Mediterranean diet, but there are other ones that work really well. There's people that do really, really well on a keto diet and people that do really well on an Atkins diet and different things like that. But pick one and stick with it. If you're looking for exercise, find a program that you like, whether it's, aerobic exercise or strengthening, and stick with it. Ideally, you'd have both in there because they're both going to benefit you, but stick with it. That's the thing. Go in day to day. There are going to be times when you don't feel like doing it. And that's okay. If you go and you do it anyway, you're going to feel better when you get done. And that sounds like something you tell little kids. Like the little kid comes out, he's like, I don't want to go to bed because, I don't feel good. Okay, go to bed because you're going to feel better in the morning, right? It sounds like something you tell a little kid, but that really is the case. If you don't feel like going and doing something on that day, and you go and you do it anyway, you're going to feel better afterwards. You're going to have that mental boost of it. You're going to have that emotional boost of it. You're going to have that physical boost of it. All of it comes around to build you up. And as you build yourself up big enough, that's when you reach that mountaintop. That's when you see success. That's when you see health. And that's ultimately what I want you to take out of this today. Now, if you are having questions about your health and how we can help, go to drjeffreycumro.com. We do have different options there. You could take a brain function checklist. Basically, all it is just a free checklist. You basically check off the little things, and it's going to tell you which parts of your brain are functioning as well as they should, which ones are not quite functioning as well. And what is that going to do for you? It gives you something that you can track. It gives you an idea of what kind of symptoms you're going to have as you go through, whether they're mental, physical, or emotional symptoms. Gives you a little bit of an idea of how those things reflect and what you can expect to see in your life. 100% totally free. I don't ask anything other than an email address to send it to, and that's it. So I love you. I appreciate you. And if you are struggling with your health, if you are struggling to take that next step towards success, keep with it. A lot of people have been where you are, and it's difficult and it sucks. Like I said, I've been there so many times, and it is miserable when you're in it. But when you sit back and you just reset, just get that mental motivation that you need to take that next step, it's going to make a world of difference for you. And if you keep at that long enough, you're going to see the success you're going to see the success that you want to see. So again, I love you, I appreciate you, and I hope you have an awesome day.